Have you ever wanted to make your own Minecraft mod? Okay, I'll show you. Sure, whatever. So the first thing you're going to want to do if you've never done it before is run Minecraft 1.21.4. You need to run it at least once because this is needed for the mod loader to work properly. Okay, and once you have the game open, you're good. You can just close the game. Now open up Google, and the first thing you're going to search is Mcreator. This is the tool we'll be using to create the mods. So you're going to just click this download button here to download it. It'll take you here to a list of the install versions. Pick the one for your device. I'm using Windows, so I'm going to download the exe installer for Windows. Next, you're going to go back to Google again, and you're going to search Neoforged. Neoforged is the newer version of Minecraft Forge. This is the mod loader we're going to be using to play the mod that we make. So you're just going to click this latest Neoforge installer to download it. Once you have those downloaded, you can go into your downloads folder and you should have these. Let's first install Neoforge so you can open the executable. But we will be installing the client because we are not creating a server, and just click proceed. Once that's finished, you'll get this installation complete pop-up. Next, you'll want to run the installation file for Mcreator. It has clear steps of what you're supposed to do. I've already installed it, so I'm not going to show that. When you open up Mcreator, you'll get this screen. You can create a new workspace. We're creating a Neoforge mod, and then name your mod what you want. For this example, I'm going to name this mod Angry Pig Mod. Make sure it's for Neoforge for 1.21.4, the version that we installed. And you shouldn't need to change any of the other things. Click Create New Workspace. It'll pop up this website. You can ignore this. Just wait for it to load. When Mcreator loads, you're going to see this screen. This is your workspace. This is where you're going to create everything that goes in your mod. So you're going to start by clicking the plus in the top left. And there's all these different options. You can make new dimensions, you can make new commands, new paintings, plants. We're going to focus on creating a living entity, a mob. We're going to call this one, obviously, the Angry Pig. And you're going to want to name it like this, capital letters, no spaces. And then click Create New Living Entity. So here's your entity creation screen. So you're going to name it, you're going to choose the model. If you want anything more complicated than a built-in model, this gets a little bit more complex. You're going to have to download a software called Blockbench or some other model viewer. For now, we're just going to stick with vanilla models. We're going to make this a pig. You're going to upload a texture for the entity. I won't show how to create one in this video, but I do have one pre-made. So once you have your texture ready, you're going to click this plus and then select the file from your folder. So here I've chosen a pig sprite, and then when you click this arrow you can see the pig. This is literally just the default pig texture, but I colored it blue. For the bounding box, you don't want to mess with this very much. It controls the size of the mob's hitbox. Usually this is set by your model, so we'll leave that as is. The visual scale, this is how big the model will appear in game. So let's say I want this to be a big pig, so let's make it size 3. The bounding box scale, this is the size of the hitbox where you actually hit your enemy. You're going to want this to be the same size as your model. Is the bounding box solid? If you're able to stand on this mob, I'm going to say no because I don't want to be able to stand on it. Is the model transparent? I'm going to say no. I want this to be like a normal pig. Is the entity shaking? This is a shaking effect, like when a zombie turns into a drowned. So we're not going to enable any of those. The spawn egg, this is how you choose the 2 colors that make up the spawn egg sprite. So since my pig is blue, let's make this a blue spawn egg. So these will be the 2 colors that make the spawn egg. If you want it to be a boss with a health bar, you can select these options. And if you want a label, you can put it here. This would appear as like a name tag above the entity's head. So we're also going to leave that blank. The model layers, you don't need to worry about this if you're using a built-in model. Animations, same thing. This is for if you create your own model. Behavior. This is how the mob is going to behave. Since this is an angry pig, we want it to be a mob because mobs are things like zombies, skeletons. They're things that are aggressive towards a player. Creatures are passive. They will never do damage to a player. And if you try to apply damage logic to it, it will actually break. And raiders are things that will appear during raids on villages. So let's choose mob. The creature type, you can choose undead, arthropod, illager, or water, or undefined. This is literally just for bonus damage based on effects. So if you make it an arthropod and then you hit it with a Bane of Arthropod sword, it'll do more damage. So we're going to leave it as undefined. Optional drop, health value, and experience amount. This is the items and XP that this monster will drop, as well as the amount of health it has. We'll leave its health at 10, and the experience amount that you get when you defeat it. Let's make it 100 XP. For a drop, well, since it's a pig, I think we should make it drop a golden carrot, because it'll be an aggressive pig, so it takes some skill to defeat it. Movement speed, its step height, that is how high it can step as well as its movement speed. This is the default for most animals, mobs, and creatures. This is how fast they walk and how high they step. If you want it to behave like a horse, you can set it to 1. That will allow it to walk over fences and things like that. We'll leave these values at the same. Actually, let's make it a little bit faster. Let's make it an enemy, 0.5. Now it'll be very fast. Follow range and tracking range. This is the range that it will see you, and this is the range it will follow you from. We can leave those at the defaults because that's what most mobs use. Attack strength, armor penetration, attack knockback, and knockback resistance. So this is how hard it hits you, how hard it can go through your armor, its knockback on you, and knockback resistance. This is only used by Ravagers and raids because they don't take knockback. Let's try setting its attack strength to 5. Make it rideable by player if you want. You can set it to a water entity like a drowned if you want. Can breathe underwater. Let's say no. Is pushed by fluids. Let's say yes. Is it flying? Equipment. This is only for biped and zombie models and it allows them to wear armor. You can set immunities. So let's say I don't want this pig to be hurt by explosions. You can just check that off and it won't get hurt by explosions. I'm going to let it be hurt by everything. For sounds, these are the living sounds, the step sounds, the hurt sounds, death sounds, and celebration sounds. Since this is a pig, we will choose the pig living sound, which is just pig ambient here. For the step sound, let's also get a pig step sound. There it is, pig step. There's lots of built-in sounds, or you can upload your own sounds if you want. For now, we'll just use the vanilla ones. Instead of the generic hurt sound, we want a pig being hurt. You know what? Rather than a pig dying, let's hear the donkey dying when it dies. That way it'll like sound weird, I don't know. Inventory, this allows it to pick up and hold items like a villager. This is the trigger screen. This is where you make your mob unique. So you can choose when it's struck by lightning, when it falls, when it dies. You can make it do certain things with procedures. Procedures are complicated. They don't involve coding, but they do involve something similar of dragging and dropping blocks. I'll show you later. For now, we're just going to leave this as is. I want this to be a simple enemy. For AI and goals, this is how its AI behaves. Usually, you can use a template. So for this one, I want it to be a mob that's aggressive towards a player. So we'll select that. It changes your AI. You can delete the old things. And it does this from top to bottom. So this mob will do melee contact. It will wander around. It will fight attacker mobs back, it will look around, and it will float in water. And then you go to the spawning tab. This is how your enemy will spawn. Unfortunately, if you're making an aggressive mob without some extra coding, you can only make it spawn at night, similar to how zombies or skeletons spawn. We will enable spawning, we will despawn it when idle like any enemy. The spawn weight, this value is the chance of the mob spawning. We're going to set this to be 100 so we can see it a lot. You can always change these numbers later. The natural spawning type, you can choose ambient, creature, underground. Ambient is things like bats that can appear everywhere. Creature is things like sheep and pigs. Monster is things like zombies and skeletons. We will set this to monster because if you set it to creature and you use mob as the entity type, it won't work. So we're going to use monster. It'll appear at night. Biomes where it can spawn, you can choose specific biomes. We'll let it spawn anywhere. Can it appear in dungeons? This is that little box in the middle of dungeons. It spawns mobs. It allows that. Number of entities per raid. We don't care about raids. And a custom spawning condition. This is where you can write code to make it spawn at special times. Once you're finished, you can click save mod element in the top right corner and it closes, takes you back to this page. And you can see your element there and double click it to reopen it. Now we want to test it in game. So we're going to click workspace. Export the mod for distribution, choose to export the mod, then it's going to open up a file browser. From here, you're going to navigate to %appdata%. In that folder, you will find your .minecraft folder, and you can find a mods folder. If you don't have a mods folder, create one yourself. Here is where you can save it. So save your mod. When you open your Minecraft launcher, you should see your NeoForge installation. This is what you installed earlier. Select this profile and click play. When you open your modded version of Minecraft, you can find this mods tab. Click it and you should see your angry pig mod is now there. So let's open up a world. Here we are in the world. Let's try setting it to night and see if the angry pig appears. I have found an angry pig and it is angry at me and it is hitting me. Oh my gosh, it hurts. Okay, hey. So we have the pig in the game, but it's just a basic enemy, so let's add a little bit more to the mod. I want to do something with those golden carrots, So we're going to create a new weapon. Choose tool here, and we are going to call this the Golden Carrot Sword. Choose the texture. You can either choose a built-in texture or you can import one. There's my imported texture. It's kind of ugly, but you know what? Whatever. You can choose if it has the glowing effect, like an enchanted weapon, and you can add any special information. I'm going to ignore those. You can go into the properties, choose the in-game name, choose the type of tool. This will be a sword. The creative inventory tab that you can find it. The blocks dropped here. This is the blocks that the item can destroy. We don't need to worry about that because it's a sword. You can add efficiency effects, enchantability. These are all the levels you can enchant it. The attack damage that it deals. So I'm going to make this sword suck because it's like just a carrot. So it's just going to do 1 damage. The normal attack speed of swords is 1.6 in Minecraft. The number of uses or its durability, let's say 100. The rest of these you don't really need to worry about. Is the tool immune to fire? No. Does the item stay in the crafting grid? No. And damage item on crafting? No. The triggers tab, this is just like the triggers tab for the animal, except we're going to add something this time. I want this carrot sword to defeat angry pigs in 1 hit. So we're going to go when living entity is hit with tool, and we're going to click the plus to create a new procedure. This is the procedure creation screen. This begins the procedure. This is when it is called. And then you can choose all kinds of things. You can send messages in chat, you can do math, you can make data of items change. There's a huge library of different procedure blocks you can use for whatever you may need. There's also some templates for if you need a specific thing, try checking if there's a template. Finally, there's a search bar in the top. For our procedure, we want the pig to be defeated in 1 hit. We're going to add an if statement, which you can find in the flow control tab. And then check if the enemy is a pig, kill it. So we're going into the entity data tab, and we're going to get the registry name of the entity. So we're going to use logic, and we are going to say if get registry name of the target that is hit is equal to angry pig mod angry pig, because the enemy is the angry pig from the angry pig mod. Then, when it is hit, you want to go into the entity actions and deal damage to the target. Since we want to kill it, let's just do a huge number, like 100. And then let's make a sound play. So we're going to go world procedures, actions, and we're going to play sound. And for the sound, let's do the anvil sound. So when triggered, you will get the registry name of the target entity, make sure it's the angry pig. If it is, you're going to deal 1000 damage to the entity and play the anvil sound. Let's save this mod element, and let's save the golden carrot sword. And of course, the golden carrot sword, you can't craft it yet, so you have to create a crafting recipe. So you're going to click plus, and you're going to choose recipe. This will be the carrot sword crafting recipe. It will be done in a crafting table, and the rest of this doesn't really matter. You can then choose points in the crafting table and find the items you want to craft with. So I'm going to use a stick and golden carrots, and that is going to craft the golden carrot sword. You can click this picture here to export a PNG of this to share with those you want to download the mod. Once this is done, you can click save mod element. Okay, we've now made the angry pig, a sword to hit it with, a crafting recipe for the sword, and a procedure that the sword will deal to the pig. Let's try exporting the mod and see it in game. Okay, so here we are back in Minecraft. We're going to try crafting the new weapon. So we're going to place a stick and 2 golden carrots, and there it is, the golden carrot sword. As we can see, it's really weak on every other type of monster, but if we were to fight a angry pig, let's try hitting this angry pig with the golden carrot sword.
1 hit, pig dead.
And that's a basic tutorial on how to... Why is it raining? And that's a basic tutorial on how to use Mcreator. I hope you learned something. Thanks for watching!